Nice to be back. Welcome to Horayot, Daf Yud, Daf 10. We are in the third chapter, and we're kind of in the middle of the narrow lines on Daf Yud Amud Aleph in the Mishnah that's in the middle. Thank you for Rabbi Lenzer for going a little bit ahead. We're continuing to look at the difference between the Kohen Mashiach and the Nasi, but ahead of us, just ahead of us, are a couple of fascinating stories and then some interesting commentary on certain psukim in regards to the Nasi, specifically to the Melech. Okay, the Mishnah tells us, Chatu ad shelo nitmanu, ve'achar kach nitmanu. So who we're talking about? We're talking about the Kohen Mashiach and the Nasi and the king. And the Mishnah is saying, what is the situation? What if they sinned? They had made a transgression that if they did purposefully, its punishment would be karet, and if they did erroneously, the punishment is chatat, or the consequence is chatat. But they did that before they were appointed to their positions, before they were either Kohen Mashiach or Nasi. Ve'achar kach nitmanu. And then they were appointed. Harei elu kehedyotot. They are like regular people, and they would bring the sacrifice of a regular person. Rabbi Shimon omer, im noda lahem ad shelo nitmanu chayavim, u'mi shenitmanu pturim. If they know, what Rabbi Shimon is saying is, for a transgression we need an act, we need a chet, and we also need, we need the awareness of the chet, we need the knowledge. If that happens before they were appointed, then they are liable. But if it happens after, then they are completely exempt. There's something, and the whole discussion is about when the status takes effect and how long does the status last. We saw in the previous Mishnah and Gemara discussion that the Kohen Mashiach, from the moment he becomes Kohen Mashiach going forward, he remains in his status, and even if he doesn't act in his status, he remains in it. And for the Nasi, only when he is, for the Nasi, who, as we see in a minute, is a Melech, only while he is in his job. Okay. Ezeu Nasi, as the Mishnah to define, Ze Melech. Oh my God. Oh, stuck something. Okay. Ezeu Nasi, Ze Melech, שנאמר, מכל מצוות השם אלוהיו, שאין על גביו אלא השם אלוהיו. So we have a pasuk in Vayikra, Perek Daled, verse 22. Yes, she is recording. Okay, that the Mishnah is asking, who is this Nasi that we're talking about? It's a king. Why? Because we have a pasuk that says, like from all the mitzvot of Hashem, his God, and the Mishnah understands it to mean that there is no one above him except his God. Therefore, he is the highest. I marked the Tanakh if you want, and there's a few other references that we need later. That there's no one above him except Hashem is God, and this is going to be important in just a few minutes. Okay, the Gemara is asking about the beginning of this Mishnah, about this Chatu ad shelo nitmanu. Mina hani mili. Where do we know this from? The Tanu Rabbanan in Vayikra chapter, Leviticus chapter 4, verse 3. Im HaKohen HaMashiach yechta. Literally, if the anointed priest will sin. And then it says, Prat lekudmot. That means if he will sin, going forward from being a Kohen Mashiach. So that means anything before then, he doesn't have to it excludes all his transgressions that he did earlier, before being a Kohen Mashiach, and if he transgressed, then he'll bring a regular sacrifice. V'halo din hu. We could, why do we need a pasuk? We could just understand it like, this is like, could be a kal v'chomer from our learning about the Nasi, about the Kohen Mashiach and the Nasi. Uma Nasi, שמביא בשגגת מעשה, so to speak, בלבד, right? The Nasi only brings the offering for his shgaga, and מביא על הקודמות, and he doesn't bring anything for the previous transgression. משיח שאין מביא אלא עליה עליהם דבר עם שגגת מעשה, אינו דין שלא יביא על הקודמות. Like it's obvious, the Nasi doesn't bring on the Kodmot, and Kal V'chomer, the Mashiach also, the Kohen Mashiach should not bring on previous sin, transgressions. But the Gemara rejects it. No. אם אמרת בנשיא שכן מביא חטאתו משעבר, תאמר במשיח שמביא חטאתו משעבר. Like we can, it's almost like we can reverse the Kal V'chomer. We don't know which direction is it going, right? Do we learn from the Nasi a Kal V'chomer to the Kohen Mashiach, or from the Kohen Mashiach to the Nasi? And we'll see that we're going a little bit back and forth, how to learn from one to another. Okay, hold on. Lost my space here from the excitement. הואיל, הואיל ומביא חטאתו משעבר יביא על הקודמות, תלמוד לומר, המשיח יחטא. חטא כשהוא משיח מביא, כשהוא אידיוט אינו מביא. So we understand from the pasuk, המשיח יחטא, that he must be Kohen Mashiach. And anything that happened to him prior to being Kohen Mashiach doesn't count. We can understand also the same for the Nasi. Asher Nasi yechta prat lakodmot. We'll see in a minute that there's a little bit of a play or back and forth about these two psukim. One says about the Kohen Im and the Mashiach Asher. Yes.
When does the Kohen Mashiach know that he's the Kohen Mashiach?
He has to be anointed.
No, but I'm saying, in other words, what period are we talking about? He couldn't know, when they say before he became the Kohen, would he bring his special offering? Is that the question?
He already was a Kohen, but then he became, he sinned.
Right.
And then at some point he's, you're next in line. They didn't go through the official inauguration process. That could be like one of those intermediate cases where you can know before he became a Kohen.
So at that point, then he would.
That was what Rav Shimon was saying. That was Rav Shimon's point. If he managed to figure it out somewhere in the intermediate period, he would bring it. Whereas the Tanakh would say even then he wouldn't bring it. Because he has to, the whole thing has to be
I mean, he'd be a Kohen from when he was born, right?
No, I don't
but
mean
not necessarily the Kohen Mashiach.
Right. So when does he be held responsible?
Right.
Michael explained. Right. Okay, good. Thank
you. Okay. שיכול, והלא דין הוא. ומה משיח שמביא חטאתו משעבר, אינו מביא על הקודמות, נשיא שאין מביא חטאתו משעבר, אינו דין שלא יביא על הקודמות. We can go back and forth. The Mashiach brings his chatat for things he's done, but not for things before he was anointed. Nasi doesn't do it, then is it not logical that he will also not bring the sin offering for things that were prior, for the kudmot?
Which is what we say.
Right. It goes a little bit back and forth. Okay. מה למשיח שכן, אין מביא בשגגת מעשה, תאמר בנשיא שמביא בשגגת מעשה. So, the anointed priest, right? He does not bring, what is like special about him? He does not bring a sin offering for transgressions that he's done, bishgagat maseh, right? Then also for the nasi, or for the king, brings an offering for the performance of like an unwitting performance of an action, even without this ruling. הואילו מביא בשגגת מעשה יביא על הקודמות. תלמוד לומר אשר נשיא יחטא, שחטא והרי הוא נשיא, ולא שחטא והודהו הדיוט. Okay, we have two psukim that we're going back and forth on. One says about the Kohen that the Kohen im HaKohen יחטא, ובת הנשיא אשר נשיא יחטא. So he has to be a Kohen in the status of Kohen Mashiach for this to matter, for this transgression to matter. And for the Nasi also, he has to be Nasi. And if he is not a Nasi, then his ruling is like a regular person, like a person we call a Hediot. Okay. Now, the Gemara is going to look at this pasuk and try to unpack additional things. Tanu Abanan. Asher nasi yachta yachol gezerah. So the pasuk says, how would you translate
when?
Asher?
I guess that.
That, yeah. Right? That should a king transgress, right?
I think that.
It's like, okay, let me tell you what the Gemara is trying to say. This is different from the im.
Mm-hmm.
The Kohen, about the Kohen, it says im HaKohen HaMashiach yichta. If not, then not, right? But for the Nasi, it says asher. So is that exera? Like, does that mean that the Nasi must transgress? Like that this is inevitable. For the Kohen, it can be if yes or no. But for the Nasi, does that mean that, he must? Okay, asher Nasi יחטא, יכול גזרה. אם הכהן המשיח יחטא, תלמוד לומר, אם הכהן המשיח יחטא, מה להלן? לכשיחטא, אף כאן לכשיחטא. So we're learning from both verses on each other, even though they're not identical because of the similarity of the situation. Because we said about the Kohen HaMashiach, about the anointed priest, if he will sin, then, and we mean when this will happen, not that it's a gzera, that it must happen. So we say also about the Nasi. אמר מר, יכול גזרה, מהי חטאתי. Like, where else in the Torah do we derive that there can be a gzera, that somebody must sin, right? If we go with this pasuk, asher nasi yachta, to mean that the nasi is inevitable that he must sin, where else do we have an example for such a situation? We find an example. Imri in Ashkachan Dichtiv, we find in Leviticus 14:34, when we talk about מצורע, ונתתי צרת, נגע צרת, בבית ארץ אחוזתכם. I will place tzarat in the homes, in the land of where you're dwelling. Says, בשורה היא להם, שנגעים באים עליהם. Here we have premonition, how do they translate it? Tidings. Yeah. Okay, there's some informing, right? There's some informing that bad things, we presume bad things are going to happen. Now we know, and this is Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, we know the Midrash that says it started out bad and ended up good, because where the tzarat struck the homes, that meant that they were, they would take them apart and they would find treasures behind it and all that. But al panav, initially, this is bad. Rabbi Shimon omer, prat lenig'ei onsin. So this does not include, this case of the tzarat, does not include things that are unseen, things that are beyond one's control.
Look at Rashi.
Tell me. Yes. She'im ba'u negaim al yedei nefichat shed, right? Coming up about the, what did they mean? I want to know what they meant in the Nefichat Shed. Like,
the devil did it.
What's Neficha?
Neficha is blowing. Like, the demon blew on it and caused it to become more like Negaim.
But it can also be a bad blowing. Off the record.
I don't know what they're really thinking, but you know.
But they're thinking that there's shadim. They're thinking that there's some bad powers, right, that are blowing around. Okay. Lava Rabbi Yehuda B'sora. Didn't Rabbi Yehuda say, Hachanami, Ema Gzerahi, Hilchach Ktiv Im. So no, this is if this will happen and not that it must happen. We can't assume that the Nasi necessarily has a Gzerah that he must transgress. Rabbi Shimon, Nig'ei Onsin, Milo Metamo, and according to Rabbi Shimon, who talks about the Nig'ei Onsin, the things that are beyond one's control, that cause, don't they cause ritual impurity? The Hatanya, we have a baraita elsewhere. Adam kiye, a person shall have, right, the tzarat, the skin things in the future, in Leviticus 13:2. Min hadibur va'elach, from the time that we got the commandments and future, and going into the future. The understanding is that before Matan Torah, somebody might have a tzarat or might have we'll see the zav, but that would not render him impure. Like the category of pure and impure was not relevant before Matan Torah. Okay, והלא דין הוא, טימא בזב וטימא בנגעים. מה זב מן הדיבור ואילך, אף נגעים מן הדיבור ואילך. We can make the comparison between the zav, translate, no zav, okay, no translation, and the negaim, the marks, and the zav is impure from the time the Torah was given and forward. Before that status had not the same meaning, and also the negaim could be understood to go forward from then. But this is rejected. אם אמרת בזב, שכן אין מטמא באונס, תאמר בנגעים שמטמאים באונס. If you say that in regards to the zav, he does not become impure, שאין מטמא באונס, by these circumstances beyond his control. Shall you say that also with the negaim, with the leprosy marks, that they impart ritual impurity that because of honest? Because
so this is our question, Rabbi Shimon.
This is the question, yes.
Right,
yeah.
The answer.
Talmud lomar, Adam ki yeh. That's what we just discussed. Therefore the Torah says, and we bring the pasuk of Adam ki yeh, a person shall be, not in the present, this is not his status automatically, but he will be min hadibur va'elach. And now they're trying to work out how is it possible that it happens and doesn't happen. This is what I was curious about the shed. Baba amar prat lenig'ei ruchot, Rav Papa amar prat lenig'ei kshafim. So things that are by spirits or by sorcery.
Right, so we differentiate between ones and kshafim. So when Rishon says that they're not matam ones, he doesn't mean the ones like before. He means ruchot and kshafim. That's our answer.
That they cause the ones.
No, meaning that would be, you'd be exempt. Rishon says they're not tamei ba'ones, but then we had another statement they are tamei ba'ones. So it depends what kind of an onus. If it's just an onus on you as a person, like, oh, you just whatever. It's different than ruchot and kshafim, which are not matame. That'd be our answer.
And they're beyond somebody's control. Yeah. Okay.
What's the difference between ruchot and kshafim?
Ruchot are like spirits, and kshafim is like magic.
Done by man, by
people.
Could, yes, could be done.
More supernatural.
It's like, you place a spell on this guy to have an as opposed to some demon walks in and,
Right.
But I think, like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what is a shed and what is a ruach, right? Ghostbusters kind of things. I don't know what they understand. I would like to know. I don't, I value what they're saying, but I don't quite understand what they're saying. Okay. Tanu Rabbanan, Asher Nasi Echta. We're going to have back to the verse. When this Nasi, or the king, transgresses, this excludes the Chole. Prat lechole. We'll see in a minute why, so just hold it. We'll connect to the recent statement.
Because if he's sick, then he's not going to see at that time, right?
But so what kind of sickness? So like what, if he's sneezing, right?
No, probably like something that
King David was cold, right? So he didn't
probably means that, like, he needs to take a medical leave of absence.
Well, what's we just talked about Negaim, right? So it's going to go into the Tzarat and go into some fascinating stories, I think. Okay. Okay, so now the Gemara is asking exactly the question we're asking. What if somebody like sneezes or has a headache, then now he stops being the Nasi? Amar Rav Avdimi bar Chama prat lenasi shenitztareya. So no, we don't mean somebody sick. We mean somebody stricken with leprosy, because the understanding is that leprosy is like a spiritual illness, right? So that there's something, not just that whatever, he's sneezing, but there's something wrong with his performance or with how he is. And now they bring us a great story. Shenemar Melachim Bet in Kings 2, chapter 15, verse 5. וינגע השם את המלך, ויהי מצורע עד יום מותו, וישב בבית החופשית, ויותם בן המלך על הבית. Okay. So this is the case of Uzziah. He was king of the kingdom of Judea. And when he became a leper, he sat until the day of his death in what the Tanakh calls Beit HaChofshit. We'll see that we want to talk about that. And his son became king on the house, right? Al Habayit, i.e. on the kingdom. Okay, so now the Gemara is asking something interesting, and I need like the movie drums preparing for a great story. מי דקאמר, בבית החופשית, בכלל דעד השתא, עבד עבד. Wait, you said about this king that he was a leper until the day of his death, and so he went to sit in the house of the free people. If you're telling me that now he went, you can't leave. If you're telling me that now he's going to the house of the free people, that means that he was a slave until now, right? Yes? We're good? Okay. Story.
He was free from the responsibilities of kingship.
Story.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I didn't want to say that. It's usually what it says. You have to hear
the story. כי דרבי גמליאל, רבן גמליאל ורבי יהושע, ואז לבספינתא. רבן גמליאל and Rabbi Yoshua going down in no, but you'll miss something. You'll see. You'll see. You can catch up with him tomorrow.
We'll do it in the next 5 minutes.
Okay. I have 5 minutes. Okay, so Rabban Gamliel and Rabbi Yoshua going in the boat. Bahade de Rabban Gamliel have a pita. Bahade Rabbi Yoshua have a pita vesulta. Rabban Gamliel travels on this boat with a pita, and Rabbi Yoshua has pita and solet and
flour,
fine flour, like cream of wheat. Shalim pita de Rabban Gamliel. Rabban Gamliel finished his pita. Samacha solte de Rabbi Yoshua. He relied on the cream of wheat that Rabbi Yoshua brought with him. אמר לי, מי הווה ידעת הווה לנקובה כולי היי, דאיתי צולתה. Rabban Gamliel says to Rabbi Yoshua, how did you know we're going to be so delayed that you brought the solet with you? Now, it's a mashal and an imshal, which maybe you don't have time, but there is one thing that's very cool. Amar le.
Yeah, the comic, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
כוכב אחד ל-70 שנה, עולה ומטעה את הספינות או ספנים, ואמרתי שמא יעלה ויטעה אותנו. There is this star that rises every 70 years, and it comes and it confuses the
Navigation.
of the ship leaders, whatever they're called.
Yeah, people say it's the
Navigators?
early source for Halley's Comet.
Yes.
Mhm.
So actually, if you look it up, I was so excited. You're not excited, cool. That they knew that there is this star, comet, something that rises every 70 years, and according to the calculations of Halley's Comet, you know that too? Supposedly it passed through in the year 66, and they attribute this story to that year, the Halley's Comet coming by. Cool. Okay, Rega. There is also the mashal of what is the sfina and what is the 70 years and what is the pita and what is the pita and the solid. So the Maharsha says that this is a Shivim Shnot Adam, and okay, and so the sfina, they compare this story with the Agadot of Rabba Bar Chana in Sanhedrin, at the end of Sanhedrin, and say that the pita is like the bread is the Torah, but the pita plus the solet is Torah and other wisdoms, and that they go and argue against whether it's Jesus or early Christians or whatever other theories, and therefore they go in this boat on this rickety ocean where they can lose their way, and Rabban Gamliel has the Torah, and that's like solid for him, and this is what he relies on. But Rabbi Yoshua brings other wisdoms, whatever that means, in order to win that argument.
So we need other wisdom too.
I can't do it now.
That's a
Marsha, yeah. Longer conversation. Okay. Thank you. Bye. I was all excited about the comment. Okay, sorry. Okay, so.
They should call it Rabbi Yehoshua's comment instead of Halley's comment.
Who?
Haley's much later, right?
He's the one that knew about it first.
Rabbi Yoshua and
Right.
Rabbi Yoshua's
Yeah, we're
comment.
calling it Haley's comment, but he didn't come around till that.
Right. It's like whatever, Lord Korech, right? Instead of sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
It's sandwich long before the Korech. Okay. Amarle, Rabban Gamliel is extremely impressed, like us. He's extremely impressed that Rabbi Yoshua is like such a stargazer, right? And he says to him, Kol kach biyadcha v'ata ole basfina. Like, wow, you have so much knowledge, and you go on the boat, like do something with yourself, right? אמר לו, עד שאתה תמה עליי, תמה על שני תלמידים שיש לך ביבשה. Don't spend your time being so impressed with me, but wonder about those two students that you have on land, רבי אלעזר חיסמה ורבי יוחנן בן גודגודה, שיודעים לשער כמה טיפות יש בים, ואין להם פת לאכול ולא בגד ללבוש. You have these two students, רבי אלעזר Chisma Rabbi Yochanan ben Gudgoda, and they can estimate how many drops are in the ocean, and yet they have not a bread to eat, no pita, and lo beged lilbosh, and not clothing to wear. Wow, Rabban Gamliel thought about it and was very impressed. Natan da'ato le'oshivam barosh. He's like, okay, I am gonna put them like at the head of an academy, or give him some great job, which is super fascinating, because Rashi says, "Kedei shiyu mitparnesim." Wherever it is, maybe on the next page.
It's the second class Rashi. And the left side.
Marked it, but I marked it in my notes. Rashi says that so they will be right, so they will have parnasa. But Tosfot Harosh on the very bottom, tiny print, and like the middle of the last wide line says Vishiva, my parnasa ika. Like, since when is there parnasa in the yeshiva that he wants to put them there? Which is, it's interesting considering conversations today that those conversations are already then. Anyway, okay. When he came from the See? שלח להם ולא באו, חזר ושלח ובאו. So he sent for them, because they're so wise, I guess they knew why he's calling them. They didn't want to come, they don't want srara, they don't want the authority. חזר ושלח ובאו, he sent them again and they came. אמר להם. Remember, this whole conversation is connected to our king, Uzziah, who was sent to בית החופשית, right? אמר להם, כי מדומים אתם ששררה אני נותן לכם? You think I'm giving you srara, like I'm giving you some position or something? We're at the top of Yud, Yud Bet. עבדות אני נותן לכם. I am not giving you authority, like a position to do whatever you want. I'm giving you a form of slavery. Where do we get this from? שנאמר, וידברו אליו לאמור, אם היום תהיה עבד לעם הזה. Okay, this is a fabulous story. And I did mark it. Wait a second. This story is in the book of Kings 1, chapter 12. And the drama that happens in this book is that, in this point in the book of Kings, is that up until then, the kingdom was one. And now the kingdom is going to split. And this is the Zkenim going to speak with Rechavam, who is the son of Shlomo. And this is their pitch, right? Why you want to be king? And they say to him, וידברו אליו לאמור, אם היום תהיה עבד לעם הזה, ועבדתם ועניתם ודיברת אליהם דברים טובים, והיו לך עבדים כל הימים. The Zkenim tell Rechavam, if today you will be a servant to this people, or a slave, an Eved to these people, if you worship them and answer them and talk to them good things, they will be your servants in return. And as we know, Rechavam leaves the advice of the elders, and he says a very famous saying. Down below, אבי ייסר אתכם בשוטים ואני ייסר אתכם בעקרבים. My father was, whatever, mildly rough on you, and I'm going to be much harder. By rejecting, understanding is by rejecting the position of being the people's servant, that the kingdom split, and and eventually became Israel and Yehuda, and not just the one kingdom.
So the split, who led the split? Somebody who was willing to serve the people?
No, he did not want that position.
No, he didn't want to.
That's it. He became the next king.
And they revolted. I mean, how did the split occur is what I'm saying.
This is it. Instead of uniting the kingdom and coming together,
right,
he wanted his own kingdom in Judea. And there was Yerovam ben Nevat that took over Israel. And I guess the understanding from here and from the text is that they become more selfish kings that care about themselves and their worship, and Israel becomes more idolatrous and all that. Okay. All right, moving on. Tanu Rabbanan. Asher nasi yechta. How many more things can we get out of these three words in this pasuk? אמר רבי יוחנן בן זכאי, אשרי הדור שהנשיא שלו מביא קורבן על שגגתו. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai reads into this pasuk, Asher nasi yechta, what we said earlier, that the nasi, the leader, the king, will transgress. He takes the word Asher, that, and he switches it to Ashrei, Osher, happiness. Happy or lucky are the people that their nasi, that their king is bringing a korban, bringing a sacrifice for the things that they do wrong. Because, imagine what a great thing. The king doesn't only bring a sacrifice for things he purposefully has done wrong, but he brings a sacrifice for something that he's done a mistake. If he's so high, wow. אוקיי, אם נשיא שלו מביא קורבן, צריך אתה לומר מהו אדיוט. ואם על שגגתו מביא קורבן, צריך אתה לומר מהו זדונו. He's like, wow, right? This is amazing. If the king brings a sacrifice, you're like, oh, of course the simple people will bring too. And if the Nasi brings a sacrifice for a mistake, of course he'll do teshuvah for things that he does in purpose, right? Isn't this amazing? Okay. מתקיף לרבה, ברי דרבה, אלא מעתה, דכתיב, ואת אשר חטא מן הקודש ישלם, וברובעם בנבט, דכתיב, ואשר חטא ואשר החטיא, החינמי דאשרי הדור ההוא. He's like, wait. You took this one word, asher, and you told me that it's related to ashrei, right? Like ashrei aish and ashrei yoshvei betecha. So now everywhere where it says asher, I am going to think, happy are those that this happens to them because of your drasha here. So what about all these bad cases? Yerovam ben Nevat, we just mentioned him, the first king of the separate kingdom of Israel, also says asher chata. So is that the same? Is that the same thing? Shani hachad de shani kra bediborei. No, this is exactly why we teach this here, because here we have asher nasi echta, and we parallel this with the Kohen. This is not a regular asher, it's a thing that we can make commentary on. Okay. דרש רב נחמן ברב חיסדא, מה דכתיב? יש הבל אשר נעשה על הארץ, etc. Hold on 1 second, we have this pasuk too. Now we're in Kohelet. Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 14. יש הבל אשר נעשה על הארץ, אשר יש צדיקים אשר מגיע עליהם כמעשה הרשעים, ויש רשעים שמגיע אליהם כמעשה הצדיקים. אמרתי שגם זה הבל. Okay, the whole pasuk. There is, hold on, let's go with that. Interesting. The translation says there is a frustration. I don't know if I would say hevel is frustration, but okay. That occurs in the world. Sometimes an upright man is required according to the conduct of a scoundrel, right? According to the Rasha. And sometimes the Rasha, the scoundrel, is required according to the conduct of the upright. I say all this is frustration. What do you think about hevel? I never thought of hevel as frustration.
Yeah.
More like nothingness or vanity, right? Vanity of vanities.
Yeah.
Everything is vanity. Okay, all right. Okay, so now continuing to drasha on this pasuk. אשריהם לצדיקים שמגיע אליהם כמעשה הרשעים של עולם הבא בעולם הזה. אוי להם לרשעים שמגיע אליהם כמעשה הצדיקים של עולם הבא בעולם הזה. Okay. Happy are the good guys, right, that get things happen to them in this world according to how the Rishaim are going to experience as the world to come, i.e., they suffer in this world, right? We assume that how things should be, that tzaddikim will enjoy the world to come and the Rishaim will suffer in the world to come. So he says, happy, Ashrei, the tzaddikim that in this world suffer like the Rishaim in the world to come. And woe to the Rishaim, to the wicked one, to whom happens in this world according to the experience in the righteous of the world to come, that they enjoy this world, right? It's in theory, we want the tzaddikim to be happy and the Rishaim to be suffering, but sometimes that's not how it goes. The tzaddikim get the portion from the Rishaim in the next world, in this world, and vice versa. Okay. Amar Rava, Atu tzadiki iach letrei olami, misnei lau. So is that to say that if the righteous enjoy two worlds, it would be bad for them? Why do they have to suffer in this world? Like let them be happy in this world and in the world to come. Ela אמר רבא, אשריהם לצדיקים שמגיע אליהם כמעשה הרשעים של העולם הזה בעולם הזה, אוי להם לרשעים שמגיע אליהם כמעשה הצדיקים של העולם הזה בעולם הזה. Rather, Rava says, the happy are the righteous people to whom happens in this world according to the experience of the wicked in this world, i.e. that they enjoy themselves, right, in this world, and woe to the wicked ones that happens to them in this world according to the experience of the righteous in this world, like many righteous people that they suffer. Okay. Rav Papa v'Rav Huna, berei de Rav Yehoshua, atu lekamei de Rava. So Rav Papa and Rav Huna, son of Rav Yehoshua, went in front of Rava. Amar lem, ukimtom masachta plan umasachta plan. Did you already study this masechet and that masechet? Amulei, in. They said yes. Iatu purta. Did you get a little bit rich? Amulei, in. Dizban ktina de ara. We bought a little plot of land. So like they're investing, they're doing well in this world. קריא עליהו, אשריהם לצדיקים שמגיע אליהם כמעשה הרשעים שבעולם הזה, בעולם הזה. He said to them, wow, like happy are the righteous people to whom it happens in this world. What happens to the Rishaim in this world? And one of the commentators, I don't remember who says it, says that the emphasis here is on the little. When he asks them, Atirtu, purta? Like not did you get rich, but did you just get rich? A little. And also when they say, Dizban ktina de ara, we bought a little plot of land. Like we didn't go overboard, because too much wealth is also considered like a danger to learning Torah. The Meiri, I have a note that says that capturing both Torah and Parnasa and wealth in this world is like trying to hunt for two deers at the same time. Mm. This is a beautiful metaphor, because it's so hard to hunt for one deer. Mm. They're fast, they hide, all that. It's hard to hunt for one deer, but trying to get both Torah and Parnasa would be compared to trying to catch two deers in the same time, and how hard that would be. Let's bring another pasuk from Hosea. כי ישרים דרכי השם, צדיקים ילכו בם, ופושעים ייכשלו בם. This is a great pasuk, and just had an opportunity to study a whole long thing about this. So Hosea says, the path of Hashem is just or right, straight. But let's say in a more loose translation, the path of Hashem is just so. This is just what it is, right? Not good, not bad. For the righteous, when the righteous walk in it, right, and they continue their journey, but the poshim, the transgressors, when they go in the same exact path, they fail in it, they stumble in it. Mm. What is that situation? Okay, so there's a great joke, great Jewish joke, right? That in the world to come, it's all one big same place. It's a giant big hall, and Moshe is teaching Torah. For the good guys, it's heaven. For the bad guys, it's hell. So it's something like this, of trying, and now the Gemara is trying to unpack it, and is going to try to find a situation where the exact same thing can be good for one and bad for the other. משל לשני בני אדם שצלו פסחיהם, אחד אכלו לשם מצווה ואחד אכלו לשום אכילה גסה. זה שאכלו לשום מצווה צדיקים ילכו בם, זה שאכלו לשום אכילה גסה ופושעים ייכשלו בם. So now the Gemara is going to try to refine the understanding of what does it mean, one path that is good for, same exact path that is good for the good guys and bad for the bad guys. And as we know from Gemara, there's going to be a few examples that we're first going to reject and then going to refine and come to something that is going to speak to us more. Okay, the first one is Pesach. right? Okay, here's two people. They both roast their Pesach offering. One is eating it for a mitzvah, and one is eating it for achila gasa, or whatever, excessive eating, right? Not for the sake of mitzvah. So one is good guy, one is bad guy. Amar lo, Resh Lakish, says to Rabbi Bar Bar Chana, Rasha kritle, like you called it wicked. Deni lo avid mitzvah min hamuvchar, Pesach milo ka'achil. Like, okay, he didn't do the mitzvah in the best way possible, the daintiest way possible, but he still ate the Pesach offering. So that's not like a rishut, right? He fulfilled the mitzvah. Ella, let's try a different metaphor. Ella mashal lishne bnei adam. Gemara goes, whatever, crazy with its examples. זה אשתו ואחותו עמו בבית, וזה אשתו ואחותו עמו בבית. Okay? Here's a mashal, there's this guy, he's at home with his wife and with his sister. Two people. Both of them are at home with their wife and their sister. אחד נזדמנה לו אשתו, ואחד נזדמנה לו אחותו. זה שנזדמנה לו אשתו, צדיקים ילכו בם, וזה שנזדמנה לו אחותו, ופושעים ייכשלו בם. So, the one that chanced upon his wife to have relations with, that's a tzaddik. And the one that chanced upon his sister, that's a poshea. That's a bad guy. Gemara rejects.
Yeah, I mean, what's the implication about the intention there? When they say chanced upon, it means like just happened to them, right?
Yeah.
They didn't do it actively.
Doesn't matter. They'll reject it. Like, this is not this. Okay. They say, midami anan ke'amrinan chada derech v'hada shte drachim. Like, this is not a good comparison. Forget the intent and all this. It's not a good comparison because I am talking to you about one path, right? One whole, when Moshe is teaching Torah. Not two opportunities, a wife and a sister. Those are two separate things. So there's a choice. It's not the same thing. Okay, Ella, next. משל ללוט ושתי בנותיו. הן שנתכוונו לשם מצווה, צדיקים ילכו בם. הוא שנתכוון לשם עבירה, ופושעים ייכשלו בם. Okay, let's explore this situation. How about Lot and his daughters? They caused their father to drink so that they can have offsprings. They thought that they were the last people in the world and that if they didn't do it, humanity is doomed and dead, right? So they intended for the sake of a mitzvah. Here they are, the tzaddikim, which is fantastic that the Gemara is calling Lot's daughters for what they did, tzaddikut, right, the righteousness. Who שנתכוון לשם עבירה, פושע. Now, you should push back. We don't have a lot of time to do this. But you should push back and be like, oh, maybe he also intended a mitzvah. Okay, the Gemara will take us there and go into all the gory details.
It's not his intention in the story. He's drunk, right? It's not a conscious decision, right?
The rabbis will not let him get away with it.
Okay.
Just,
that's
preview on the next 3 lines. I'm
right.
just telling you. Okay. It's just exactly he's asking this. V'dilma hu nami l'shem mitzvah hu mechaven. Maybe he also intended for the sake of a mitzvah. Who are you to say? Amar Rabbi Yochanan, kol apasuk hazeh l'shem avera ne'emar. This whole pasuk is for the sake of transgression. And we're looking at Bereshit chapter. This is Bereshit Yud Gimel. Okay, this is great. Again, way beyond the time here, but one day it's very interesting to read Lot backwards and read Lot all the way to the beginning of his relationship with Avram and see what happened. Like all of a sudden we're in chapter 19, right? And it's like the whole city is on fire and he's escaping, and now the scene with the daughters. What? Like, I mean, he's Avram's nephew. Maybe just things happen to him. Where is he? And so Rabbi Yochanan says the whole pasuk is Avera, and he's taking us back to Bereshit chapter 13. It says, Vayisa Lot et enav, vayar et kol kikar hayarden. I'm playing around with the Gemara, and you'll see why in a minute. Ki kula mashke. That is the pasuk in chapter 13 in Genesis. Lot looks up and he sees this whole green land. What's wrong? Rabbi Yochanan says this pasuk is already all avera. Vayisa Lot. Why? Because it's Gzera Shava with Tisa. He lifted his eyes. Vatisa eshet adonav et enea. The wife of Potiphar lifted her eyes to see Yosef. Right? She desired him. Et enav. We compare it with Samson. Vayomer Shimshon, ota kach li ki hi yeshara be'enai. Right? He wanted this woman. Vayar. Compare it with Shechem who raped Dinah. Vayar ota Shechem ben Chamor. Et kol kikar hayarden. He saw the whole valley of the Jordan. Ki be'at isha zona ad kikar lechem. From Proverbs, comparing somebody going to a prostitute to somebody being so destitute that they don't even have a piece of bread, and there's other Gemara places where sex and bread go together. Yosef, but like the Gemara is talking about somebody who knows he's going to have relations, pat besal, somebody that knows they have pat besalo, right? They have bread.
Potiphar would lechem, and I think Rashi says that means his wife. Right? In the Yosef story.
I'm not seeing it here.
It's not in the Gemara.
Okay.
But it's another.
Okay. כי כולה משקה, and then in Hosea we say, אלך אחרי מאהבי, נותני לחמי וממת צמרי, פשתי, שמני ושיקויי. Okay. והמינס הניס. David, to your point. Why are you accusing him? Maybe he was a anus. Isn't he also like the victim of circumstances beyond his control? Tana, משום רבי יוסי בר, רבי חוני. למה נקוד על וו שבקומה של בחירה? What is the emphasis on the vav of kuma, like it says about Lot, velo yada b'shuchba uvekuma, okay? So he didn't know, okay, it says, lomar lecha, don't give it away, Gemara speaks for itself, lomar lecha shebeshuchba lo yada, aval bekuma yada. Maybe he was drunk and he didn't know when they fell asleep or fell into the act, right? He didn't know, but he knew when she got up. And further, if that was really a mistake, what happened in the second night? Like we can let the first thing go, but we can't let the second thing. Okay. My have lemavid, my de have. Nafka mina de lefine acharina loy baile lemishti. If he should not have been drinking in the second night. The fact that the first one happened, happened, but the second one should not have happened. Let me see if there's a better stopping point. Okay, can I just close the Lot thing?
Yeah.
Okay, דרש רבא. מה דכתיב in משלי, אך נפשע מקריית עוז ומדיינים כבריח ארמון, אך נפשע מקריית, so now we have a pasuk from Proverbs, a brother betrayed a strong city, and their contentious are like the bars of a castle. Okay, אך נפשע מקריית עוז, the first part, the brother who betrayed is Lot, because he removed himself from Avram, מדיינים כבריח ארמון, שהטיל מדיינים בין ישראל לעמון, that he put fights between Israel and the Ammonites. And there's a lot packed in this, whatever. Okay, forget it. But we know also that Midian is like one of the heirs of Lot. And we're told in Dvarim, lo yavo Ammoni u'Moavi bikal Hashem, that an Ammonite and a Moabite should not come. And yet, we know that King David's great-grandmother is Ruth the Moabite. So there's a whole discussion that Ammoni u'Moavi male should not come, but Ammonite and Moaviyah could come. And that, in fact, there's commentators that say that Davka, because the daughters of Lot, or really relatives of Avram, right? The daughters of Lot had this audacity to do something so crazy that those are qualities that we needed in the kings of Israel. We couldn't have kings of Israel that are just merciful and kind and this and this. They also needed these qualities that they got from the Moabites first and then from the Amorites. Another pasuk, לתאווה יבקש נפרד, בכל תושייה יתגלה. Another Mishle, he that separates himself seeks his own desire and snarls against all sound wisdom. לתאווה יבקש נפרד, זה לוט שנפרד מאברהם. ובכל תושייה יתגלה, שנתגלה קלונו. So Lot is the one that asked separation, and his name was revealed. Everybody knew, because Lot's daughter could have said, oh, you know, this should be a familiar story that we hear in another religion nearby. We went into a cave. I don't know what happened. I got pregnant and now I have a baby. But she named the child Moab, that this is the seed of the father. She was honest, proud of what she was doing, and these qualities also went into the kings of Israel. And with that, a fabulous day waiting for Haley's comment to come.